All right, everyone. They tell me today is Tuesday. So it's got, at least it's not Monday. So I'm going to call the docket. If you're here, let me know you are here by standing. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Caitlin Martinez. We're not starting off with a good day. I know it's raining, but I made it. Guillermo Lozano is in custody. Romaldo Martinez. In custody, we have Aguilar, Garcia, Collins, Lopez, Ruiz, Gavino, Vera. Thank you. Mr. Bard, thank you for always being on time. Santuan Wilson. Jasmine Hardaway.
I'll check and verify.
LaDonna Worthy. It's going to be a Monday on a Tuesday. Brandon Wright. Brandon Wright. Deputy Laura, I think we're going to have 2 rows.
This started.
Oh, okay. All right, well, don't run. I mean, the hallways are probably slippery because of the rain. Stephen Matthews. Kevin Robinson. Thank you. Deputy Laura, we may need to have the 2 rows. In custody, we have Rios, Roth, Rafael Guerra.
Here you go.
In custody, we have Gonzalez Lopez, Guzman, Benitez Lopez, Nahara Lopez, Guillermo Lozano. Oh, thank you. Devontae Pollard, custody. Herrera, custody. White, custody. Alexander Castro. Thank you. Ralph Pettis.
Here you go.
In custody, we have White, Abdallah, Incy. Did I pronounce that correctly? Or Icy? Dominguez, Dominique Brinkley. Dominique Brinkley. In custody, we have Collins, Yanez, Gerardo Yanez. Thank you. In custody, we have Huffman, Daniel Macias. Thank you. Vernon Dixon should be in magistrate's court. I wonder why that's in magistrate's court. I'll find out. Anthony Cruz. In custody, we have Gutierrez, Diaz, Rios.
Judge, that's Martin Rios.
Yes, it is. Thank you. In custody, we have Katrina Mendoza, Monica Guardo. They won't be here till 11. Gilbert Rodriguez, Jairus Torres, John Sanchez. And we have Hickman in custody, Pierce, Lindsay Pierce. Devin Magallanes is in custody, Medina custody. Caleb Coleman Lee should be by Zoom. Robert Petty and Joshua Clark custody, Kilgore and Warren custody. Is there anyone who came in? Why are you standing there?
Oh, it's some chicken. She said,
Oh, okay. What's your name? All right, just have a seat on the front row. Front row. All right, anyone else who came in later, your name was not called. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said the phone is on.
That's late, because court starts at 9. All right, these are the rules of the court. To attorneys, there are files on either side. On this side is criminal trial division. On this side is family violence. I try to keep the middle of the courtroom as least congested as possible. So just grab your file, put it on the prosecutor's desk. When they're ready to confer, they will call you over to confer with you. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with the state or conferred with your client. If your client is in custody, they still need to be brought out and conferred with. If you ask the deputy to bring your client out, do not leave the courtroom because, as you can tell, we have a lot of people who are on the docket who are in custody. The other thing, when we are on the record, and you'll know we're on the record because I will have called the style of the case, do not approach this side because there's a lot of chatter and it's hard for me to hear and hard for the court reporter to hear. Do not approach the coordinator for a reset or a continuance. Do not tell her your story about why you need a reset or continuance because I'm the only person who can give you a reset or a continuance. All right, it's Tuesday. It's not Monday. So that means it's going to be a great day because we're closer to Friday than we were yesterday. So everyone, please confer and be kind to each other. Thank you.
Judge Manfred?
Yes. Okay. Is he in custody or on bond? Okay. Yes. Caroline, can I see the file on Gerardo Yanez? Yes. All right, thank you. So how are you doing this morning? Yeah. You know, I went outside and then I saw it was raining. I'm like, oh, grab your rain boots.
I know. Like, I'm glad I left early.
Oh, I was about to step out and suede. All right, if you came into the courtroom late, you need to get on the first row. That means if you were not in the courtroom at 9 a.m. and you're on the docket, you need to get on the first row. People on the back row, if you came in late, you need to be on the first row. Can you say that in Spanish for me, Deputy Laura? All right. Can I see Gerardo Yanez? If you can come forward, please. Good morning. Oh, no, you stand behind there. All right. Excuse me, counsel. Say, would you give that to Mr.? Oh, no. And can you turn that back on? He turned it off when he touched it. Yes, just press the button. Oh, press the button. Okay, is it green light?
Is it green light?
Okay, great. All right, Mr. Yanez, your case has been dismissed. Here's the thing. Don't go out and celebrate, but don't come back to court for these type of cases or any case at all. You understand? So is there anything else you need? All right, so that's a copy of your dismissal. All right, and you are free to go. Have a great day. Thank you. I'm trying to make sure I drink a lot of water. It's so hard.
What happened to your cup?
Oh, I still have it. I just forgot to bring it. I was rushing out of the house this morning because I knew the weather was going to be bad. Once I saw the rain, I was like, this is not good. The freeway is not going to be great today. Oh, sure. No. Oh, sure. No ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. All right.
I have been working for you during trial.
Okay, no problem.
Well, I just need to do my job. I just found out last time, it was so hot. And I'm trying to not drink soda, had to go get it with zero. One, it's something else. I mean, I have to show my computer. And I know, other county, 9 days. He's in jail. 2 hours away. And I'm like, he has a whole hot mess. We're set on the stage. And I'm just and we extend it. So I was like, it's not gonna go to trial. It's not here. It's not. They did file it before, but this was.
Okay.
Should I recall them?
Yes. Thank you.
I might pretend, but they used to work in this. And I was like, so I'm like, there's a better. Nope. I've never said before, usually you say, hey, I was just look up the. Let's we're going to solve it. We got I messed with that. When my dog is. I was like. It's far away. I just really don't have. What day? You need to do your job. And I'm thinking to myself, I was so like trying to not have it stop.
That's really good. Down.
Yeah. But you know, in one of my friends, he said, so I said, like, yes. And but no, what I've heard, no. I said, I know, but I'm not gonna have to cook zero. I'm forced to drink something that's bad for me that doesn't come out.
I feel the pain.
And how many times I've said, we've been working. You know, this will be awesome. Yeah. And then I get it. Well, yeah. I like that. I don't think I'd ever say that.
I don't think I would.
So
I did well. Oh, that would.
So I need to do my job.
Now, those, I know, I do have one. Maybe because of that.
It's taking up my time.
Patrice Homer is, I think he lives in Houston. I don't know if you.
Who's the attorney?
That's taking up my status.
It is 2/21/6591.
Charles Book.
But I came back.
Okay, I think we did say Houston, because I think they still have an issue with an extraction. Yes. Let me forward you the Zoom link.
There's the residual. And you know, kind of separate. It's just-
All right, I just sent it.
Non-conscious? Oh.
Yes.
Christopher Medina? Able to get it? Stop there.
Yeah.
Here you are. Oh, either one. Yeah, there you go. I rarely have white out here because I always use it up.
Judges want to be in France.
I like the other white out.
Oh, the little thing.
You feel like Van Gogh.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean.
Don't say that. No, no. Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay, Caroline is still sending.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was about to exit out and it's like still sending. You know what? Let me just give you the well, let me write you down the number.
It is a little bit weird.
Oh, I just got it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The other one. That's what we did. Yeah.
It's not an update, you should be right now. Thank you.
So was that a file?
Sorry. Back to the second. That was one. Yeah.
Abdallah NC. Abdallah NC. Good morning. How are you doing? Yeah, you're on this side. Your client's in the middle. All right. So, Mr. NC, you were late for court. Why were you late?
I found from the parking, it was, further. I was slowed down on the highway, so I apologize, why.
All right. So here's the thing. I'm always on time, so I expect everybody to be on time. Okay. All right. So has he applied for PTD?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the contract with me. There were some technical issues with him signing it online, so I printed it out and brought it with me, and I'm gonna have him sign it right now and submit that to the attorney.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, I need a reset date for PTD.
April 25th.
All right. We'll be back on April 25th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can I excuse?
Yes, after you get to reset. Happy birth month.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
Check it out.
Based on.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So we're trying to see actually right now. So you're on. Here, you slowly one. No, you're right. Yeah, yeah, not sure that.
All right, are the parties ready on Robert Allen Petty? Where's Mr. Petty? If you'll come up. Court is calling. And I need you all to be quiet in the box while we're on the record, or either move it to that end. Court is calling 2022 CR 11723, State of Texas versus Robert Allen Petty. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense,
Yay for the defendant.
and he needs to be in the middle, counsel. All right, are you Mr. Petty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we are here for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest on January 27, 2023 to the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison, and the state is opposing your application for deferred adjudication. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Judge, we did previously, we're putting out a new.
All right, state, you've reviewed it?
Yes,
All right, defense, have you reviewed it?
Yes.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
no objection.
Defense, any objections?
Okay. Your Honor, just, we're objecting to the restitution amount. I don't know if that's proper at this time.
Okay.
Would you like to hear that now? Or
Oh, no, we can hear that at a different time.
Okay, good.
Thank you. All right, does anybody have any witnesses call state?
Don't believe we do.
Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor,
All right, then the court will hear argument. State you're opposed. Why?
Your Honor, based on the allegations, as well as speaking with the complaining witness, she did voice her opinion that the defendant should not be granted probation. Based on his actions, she has been placed in fear. She's, to bluntly put it in her language, terrified of this man, and believes he is deserving of prison time. If I can have 1 second, Your Honor. The defendant is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, showing that he is a dangerous individual to both the complaining witness and to society. at large, Your Honor, and so we, for those reasons, we'd ask that you deny the plaintiff's application for probation.
That
All
you
right.
deny, I'm sorry.
Deny his application for probation.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, you can see by the PSI, my client does not have a history of felonies. He did have an assault, family violence misdemeanor with this same victim. We elected as his attorney to go ahead and just judgment satisfy him on that case. So that we were hoping the court would grant, and he would just have one community supervision and one set of court orders. So that was the decision we made to go ahead and just close out that case. Your Honor, just based upon his pretty much no history, the recommendation on page 4 from the complaining witness, the victim, to the probation officer was that I don't have a problem with him getting probation. I just don't want him around. And I think that speaks volumes of what she said when she sought the probation. My client doesn't have an intent to be around her. And he, I believe, when you read the TAP evaluation, he has an issue with alcohol. And I think treatment is what's warranted for him. He does have medical problems. He is on Social Security, which has been stopped because of his incarceration. So we're asking the court to grant him deferred adjudication, to grant him treatment for his alcoholism, his issues with alcohol, and to allow him to rehabilitate himself. My client has told me he has no plans of being around her. There was some issue in the PSI about her claiming some property. I asked my client if he had her ID or anything, and he said no. They just took my wallet and a set of keys I had with my car keys and things. The RV that they were staying in, who does have that, but according to the PSI, she does not have that anymore, and she is now living at the Hayden home. So my client doesn't have property other than a key to a vehicle she doesn't have anymore. And in the discovery, which is not part of the packet, but I represent to the court that there was a property release in there, and there was some property released. My client doesn't have that. So we're just asking the court to grant a deferred and today. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
our complaining witness just showed up, and we would like to call her as a witness.
Okay.
They stated that we didn't have a witness, but she just arrived.
All right, what's your witness's name?
Amy Doyle.
All right, Miss Amy Doyle, come forward. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. I'm gonna need you to keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
Okay.
Can you state your name for the record? All right, Diane, are you able to hear? All right. All right, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Doyle, you are the complaining witness in the case against Mr. Petty, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you submit a statement to on a pre-sentencing investigation report indicating that you're okay with probation?
No, sir.
What are your feelings on the defendant if he were to be granted probation?
I would not be happy with the decision because I believe that Mr. Petty is a threat when he's drinking. He hopefully would not be able to find me specifically, but he may have other victims because he has been drinking all of his life by his own accord. He has been drinking since he was 10, and he is a different person when he is drinking. He is violent and malicious, and he tends to not be his normal self. He's a danger to others when he's been drinking.
Ms. Doyle, where are you currently living?
I'm in Haven for Hope.
And how has Mr. Petty's actions changed your life since this is?
Of course, it's made me fearful of any relationship, but especially with men. I feel very scared at times, and I've been having some nightmares since yesterday. I don't think that Mr. Petty should be out on the streets. I know he's been in rehab facilities from time to time, and they have all failed him because he always goes back to drinking and continue to be violent when he's drinking.
And Ms. Doyle, are you seeking restitution in this case?
Yes, sir.
For what are you seeking restitution for?
I would like to relocate
And
to a safer place.
Ms. Doyle, why are you currently living at Haven for Hope?
I could no longer afford the rent because Mr. Petty was splitting the rent with me. And in Divine, it was $400 a month, and here it was $1,000 a month, including utilities. And that's beyond my means. I live on Social Security disability.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am. You had asked the defendant to come move in with you, right, into your RV?
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
okay, and this was after he was arrested for an assault case and put on probation, is that right?
Yes, I had bailed him out,
Okay,
which was a big mistake.
okay, and then you invited him to come live with you to split the expenses.
No, I did not.
Okay,
He came because he had nowhere else to go, and he told me it would be different, and it never was different.
well, you met Mr. Doyle at the Haven for Hope, is that right?
Mr. Petty, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Petty, excuse me, and when he got out of jail, he moved back to the Haven of Hope, isn't that right?
I don't believe so.
And then you asked him to come live with you, isn't that right?
No,
And when you spoke to the probation officer, she wrote that I don't have a problem with him getting probation. And you're saying to this court that the probation officer got it wrong. And that this is a lie in this report.
I do not recall that. I told the advocate that I did not think it was best for Mr. Petty to get probation.
All right, just one moment, please. Mr. Coleman, you need to find a seat. That's okay. All right, you can continue. All right, you can continue.
Do you even recall speaking to the probation officer?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And the $2,000, that's just to pay to have your items moved to Houston.
I never disclosed it was to Houston. But yes, I would like to relocate, and I had asked for 4,000, actually 2,000 to get my things out of storage and 2,000 to actually move in.
It's just in the report, the probation officer that you spoke with puts in that you were moving to Houston. And that's where I got that from, okay?
All right.
Okay, and so your plan is to never have anything to do with Mr. Petty, is that right?
Correct.
And when do you plan to move to Houston?
I'm not sure. I am at a disadvantage financially right now.
Okay, and your daughter is a physician in Houston, isn't that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay, she's not a doctor.
No,
Okay, what
she's
is that?
a medical specialist liaison for a pharmaceutical company.
And I think that's all I have. Thank you, ma'am.
State.
I have no questions on that.
All right, I have a few. Are there any objections to the court asking the witnesses questions?
No objection.
No objection.
What was the length of time of your relationship with Mr. Petty? How many years?
About a year.
Did you meet him at Haven for Hope?
Yes, ma'am.
Why were you at Haven for Hope?
Because I had sold my house and the city was going to demolish it, and so I ended up getting a small amount and bought the mother home
Okay, why was the city going to demolish your home?
because it was in disarray. It was very cluttered, and I inherited the home. It was used for storage because my grandfather was in a nursing home.
Okay.
And the family used it for storage.
All right, do you know why Mr. Petty is receiving SSI?
He's not receiving SSI, he's receiving Social Security.
Okay, and is that just due to his age?
Yes.
Do you know?
ma'am.
All right, and why are you receiving SSI?
Because I have many medical conditions.
All right, what are your medical conditions?
I have a heart condition. I have seizures. I have a knee problem. I have bad liver, not from drinking, but from medication
Yeah.
over the many years.
No, I understand with the liver for
I have-
medications.
Yes, I have arthritis. I have degenerative disc disease in my back. I have diabetes.
Okay.
Shall I go on?
And why did you leave Divine, Texas?
Because my sister lives in San Antonio and she has 5 children and the 4th one committed suicide, and I was trying to get closer to her to help her get through the pain.
All right, and you mentioned that Mr. Petty had previously been in rehab. What rehab was that?
I know one of them was the state hospital, one of them was in Uvalde, Texas.
Mhm.
And I don't know the name of it, but he told me about it, and his sister also informed me that the family had committed him. And that it didn't work.
All right, thank you so much.
Certainly.
All right, so but before you leave though, there are no more questions, is that correct? From either side? No more
No.
questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I want to let you know that with regards to restitution or money that's owed, my hands are tied. I have to follow the law on restitution, right? And the restitution that you're requesting is not restitution that I am legally able to give you.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right, any other witnesses from either side?
Nothing further from the state.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, we're gonna briefly call Ms. Petty.
All right, Mr. Petty, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up. State your name for the record.
My name is Robert Allen Petty.
All right, defense.
Your relationship was about a year long, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and you two met at the Haven for Hope,
Yes, ma'am.
and there was a time that that you were on probation for your misdemeanor assault.
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you end up living with Ms. Doyle after you took a plea?
I was helping her at her grandparents' house. Try to get stuff moved out because she said that she had it sold, and so I helped her, and one thing led to another.
Okay, did she ask you to come live with her?
Yes,
And Ms. Doyle mentioned that you had been in treatment.
yes, I committed myself to a treatment center here in San Antonio.
Okay. And have you ever been to the state hospital?
No, ma'am.
Okay, have you ever been to a hospital in Uvalde?
Yes,
And what was that for?
it was for alcoholism, but they told me I didn't need it.
Okay, when was that?
I'm gonna say around 3 years ago.
And if and when released, do you have any plans of contacting the store?
No, ma'am.
Um,
In fact, the keys that they have here in my property, she can have them.
okay. And do you know of any other property that you have of hers?
No, ma'am, I sure don't.
Okay. And are you asking the court to grant you community supervision?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you willing to participate, whether it's inpatient or outpatient, for treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe you do have an alcohol problem?
Yes, I have one.
Okay. And what are your plans if you're released from jail? And you're not sent to a treatment program, what are your plans? You plan to stay in San Antonio or move?
No, ma'am, I'm moving back to Dallas and live with my sister.
Okay, so you do have a place to live in Uvalde.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll pass the witness. Thank you.
State.
Mr. Doyle, besides the keys that you have, is there any other property that you have in your possession that belongs to you?
To my knowledge, no, sir.
Do you have in your possession her health insurance card?
If I do, it's in my bill phone.
Do you have in your possession any other of her identifying or insurance information?
No,
Um,
not to my knowledge.
And you said you'll be moving to Uvalde if you are granted probation.
Yes, sir.
And have you had contact with your sister to determine whether or not she will allow you to stay with her in Uvalde?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when are you planning to move?
As soon as possible.
Do you have a set timetable for when you will be moving?
I just need to get my social security back on track. And I'm gone.
And until you can get that back on track, where will you be staying?
I'll be staying at a motel. At a Motel 6.
And how will you be paying for that motel?
My sister's gonna pay for
And when was the last time you had a drink, Mr. Doyle? Or Mr. Petty, I'm sorry.
it. October the 1st,
Do you currently have a drinking problem?
no. I hadn't even thought about it. Since I've been incarcerated.
And do you have any plans to return to the Haven for Hope for lodging while you're
No.
continuing San Antonio?
No, sir.
No further questions, John.
Nothing further.
Any objections to the court asking questions?
No objections.
Why are you receiving SSI?
Me,
Yes.
I'm not. I'm
Your
receiving
social
security.
Okay. And is that just due to your age?
Yes,
All right. Did you ever call Miss Dahl from the Bexar County Jail?
once,
When was this?
when I first got in,
All right, when you first got in for this charge?
yes,
All right. Have you called her since then?
no, ma'am.
When you called her, what did you say to her?
I decided she was gonna get me out.
And what was her response?
No,
All right. And have you spoken to your sister about living with her?
yes, ma'am.
When did you first start drinking?
When I was about 21, 22,
All right. How often are you drinking alcohol when you're not at the jail?
every day,
All right. So when people say they don't need help with drugs or they haven't been using drugs when they're at the jail, it's sometimes because you're at the jail. Now, I do know, and I've learned from previous clients that I had, that there's a way to make alcohol at the jail, but I will not put that out there. I think defense attorneys know that there's a way to make alcohol at the jail. So I appreciate you for not doing that. All right, Mr. Petty, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I can't. I'll give you 3 years in prison, or either I will place you on deferred adjudication, but you're going to safe P. And you can see if felony drug court has an opening, it'd be safe P or felony drug court. The choice is yours, but either way, you're not leaving the jail today.
Okay.
Do you want to talk to your attorney?
Yes,
All right.
Your Honor, I don't know if you would be able to participate. Well, he would have to stay here.
I mean, it's safe P special needs.
No, the felony drug court.
Oh, yeah, he'll have to stay
Require
here.
him to reside here.
Yes.
that's okay. I will do that.
Okay.
All right, so if you all want to discuss. All right, Gabino Vera, good morning.
Jason Jordan is the prosecutor. Did you just walk out?
He's probably just in the back if you want to see if he's back there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll wait, but you should be back in a second.
Okay, we will take you up then. All right, Norma, on Mr. Jason Lopez. Deputy Laura, can you let them know that their attorney is in jury trial in Houston? And Ms. Ferguson, let's set that the week of the 27th. Let's make it the 27th. And Deputy Laura, if you could let him know we're rescheduling him for March 27th, and that if his attorney is done with trial sooner and wants him on the docket sooner, we'll get him on the docket sooner. Thank you. All right. I don't see him.
No, it's not ready, but the status.
Oh, well. Motion for continuance needs to be filed. And I will hear that and make my ruling.
Told me yesterday, and then you're part of it this morning.
Okay. Hello. Hi. So we're here on Mr. Vera.
The state is not ready to proceed at this time. We filed a motion for an attachment on a witness that's in state custody, the prison. The other witnesses that we would need to prove the case, we have not been able to locate at this time. They're essentially, the case is entirely dependent on the witness testimony. There's a total of 4 witnesses to the murder, and the only one that we know of is, they're the only one that we can find is in prison.
Did anybody call the prison and ask them, pick up the phone and call the 800 number and speak with the warden and ask them when they can get this person here? That's what I would do as a defense attorney. I would always call the prison, and they were very accommodating.
I can do that, Judge. I talked to your court staff who said that it would take a minimum of 2 weeks to get them back.
Oh, if you call the prison.
I may not have your authority, Judge, to call the prison.
No, I mean, I would do it as a defense attorney too. It was just, hi, I'm Stephanie Boyd. I'm a defense attorney. This is what's going on. Could you help me? And they'd be like, sure, what's going on? And I would tell them, and they're like, we're gonna make that happen for you.
Talk to extradition to figure out, when they'll be presented here. He won't be here until April 3rd.
Oh, no, call the prison. That's my question. Has anybody called the prison?
No.
All right, let's call the prison.
It also sounds like they have other witnesses they're not, that they would be as well. So, I mean, the state's announcing not ready to. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll hear a motion for continuance, but somebody needs to call the prison.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why people don't want to talk to people at the prison. Yes. Mom always asks me about Deb. And I always say, well, what about Daryl? She's like, oh, tell Daryl I said hi. I'm just joking. I'm joking. She always asks about your mom.
Well, let's thank.
Guillermo Lozano.
Yes, Your Honor, President Brady, that's yes, I.
All right. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 0331. I'm sorry, Arlene, could you move you and your client down to that end? Because we're on the record. If that's possible, or either on the back row.
Okay, the back row would be great.
All right, and if y'all can make sure you whisper. All right, can I have parties announced for the record? State,
Jason Garrett for the state, Your Honor.
defense,
Joseph Appel for the defense.
and are you Guillermo Lozano?
Yes, Your Honor.
You entered a plea of guilty on January 25th to the offense of robbery. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is taking some cases in consideration and they're recommending deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, but I would like to speak through some of the issues and information in the PSI with the court's permission.
All right, you may proceed.
With the instant offense, Your Honor, and in the PSI report, it's pretty clear that Mr. Lozano accepted guilt. And in fact, he returned to the store to return the bicycle and try to get arrested because he knew he'd done wrong. But they said, no, go home and don't come back. And then the warrant came out and then he went and turned himself in. It shows a level of acceptance of his responsibility that I don't see very often in this line of work, Judge, where he actually goes back to the store to try to return and try to make right what he's done wrong. He does have a history, which he is in the PSI clearly stated that he is using this as a life-changing event to get back on track to reset himself. He has been incarcerated, he's been in custody now for going on 5 months, I believe is, I don't have the exact number of days, but during that period of time, he has been clean. He has had a substance abuse issue in the past. What he's respectfully requesting the court to do is to place him in the intensive outpatient treatment program because he feels that with the 5 months of sobriety that he has had since he's been incarcerated in custody in Bexar County Jail, cold turkey is his reset and he can stay clean, be out where he'll be residing with his mother, and so that he can get a job, work, and support his 2 daughters that he does technically have custody of, but they're currently living with a family member in Houston due to his legal situation. That his daughters are 14 and 17 at the time. And that way he can send them support and help continue supporting them and get his life back on track.
All right. Mr. Lozano, can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, sir.
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. So when's the first time you started using
Oh, man, we're ready to
meth?
I'd say like 3 or 4 years ago.
All right.
In that time,
All right, and how often were you using?
every day.
Okay. All right, have you spoken to your mom?
It's like beach for every day.
And does your mom want you staying with her?
It's
And any other questions from either side?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Any other questions? All
No, Your Honor.
right, with regards to his monetary loss, if he returned the items, why is there a monetary loss of $339.98? Because I'm not going to grant restitution for restocking fees. If that's what's happening.
Sure, Your Honor.
Ah,
It looks, Judge, it looks like it says that the bike was worth $339.98.
okay, so did you leave with the bicycle?
Yes, but I got arrested with it also.
All right, well, then that bicycle is not new. It's, so I'm gonna order that restitution. Is there gonna be any objection from the defense?
There won't be an objection, Your Honor. I understand the position that it is no longer a new item, but they cannot restock.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 2022 CR 11168. County Court calls numbers 672-303, 672-304. The following JN numbers 2102749, 2102754, 2102756. Do you have any medical issues? All right, the court is going to order SATIF. And also probation, refer him to felony drug court as well. Those will take place while you're in custody. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination with a booster. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do it or you have done it and you present that, 40 of the hours will be waived. I'm going to want parenting classes with triple P. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be regular reporting upon release by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline for 60 days upon release, with at least testing once a week. Field visits upon release. And that will be 2 times per month. And probation, if you want to count that as him appearing, you can count that as him reporting. Oh, and I'm sorry, State, you have something for the court? Oh, no problem. And then you can go back to confirm.
Appreciate it.
Sure. Proof of employment within 40 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And defendant is to provide proof of residency within, well, proof of residence within 10 days of release. And probation, if you can make sure that's a stable residence for him and there's not drug use. Probation is, there's to be no contact They don't want you to have any contact with Target, or as some people would say, Target. Okay. And the Republic Golf Course. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand,
Yes, sir.
counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we can go off the record. Here's the thing, when you go live with your mom, you are not an adult in that household. Whenever you live with somebody else, you need to follow their rules. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I say something?
Yes.
God bless you and court.
Oh, thank you so much. That you made my day today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, have a good one, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes. All right, Ms. Gay.
John, we're ready to see.
All right, we're going to go back on the record in 2022 CR 11723, State of Texas versus Robert Petty. Counsel. All right, Mr. Petty, what's your decision?
Yes.
Just asking what your decision.
Oh.
Just asking you what your decision is, not me.
Whatever the bond says.
No,
Oh,
it's what do you say? Do you want to go to prison or
yes,
do you want to go to inpatient treatment?
I guess present.
No, you said you want to go to safe P.
Yes. Oh,
I think the confusion is that
Well, let
I
me,
had discussed SATIV and then I discussed your safe P and told him it was incarcerated.
all right,
So I think that's where the confusion is when you ask prison, that's safe P.
all right, let me ask it this way. Do you want to go to prison or do you want treatment for your alcohol issue?
I want treatment for the alcohol.
All right, thank you. I think that clears everything up.
Sorry, you're home.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, so this is what the court will do. The court will sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine probated. Take in consideration JN number 2098730. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Defendant is to be sent to safety. And defendant is to remain in custody until transfer. There's to be no contact. It's not listed in here. Any objections to the court ordering no contact? Because I know that's not a part of your plea bargain agreement, but no contact with the complainant.
My client prefers that. Yes, Your Honor.
So there's to be no contact with Ms. Doyle, the complainant. There's to be upon release field visits 2 times per month. And probation, if you want to see if felony drug court has a spot for him, and we'll take him. And your field visits can count as reporting, but there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. Make sure the UAs are a test for alcohol. And I want them regular and random. There's to be 150 hours community service restitution. I'm gonna want 90 sober meetings in 90 days upon release. And I know they will have given him treatment at safety or felony drug court, but that's what I want. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Want proof of SSI?
Yes, proof of SSI, or you to have employment within 60 days. And I'm saying 60 days because I realize it may take a time for him to get back with his SSI. And there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors, and no employment in any establishment whose main source of income is alcohol. You understand? So that means ice houses, that type of thing.
So,
Anything else, probation? Mr. Petty, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Firearms aren't working.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
This is the document that we signed. Remember the right to appeal?
yes,
All right, did you understand that? Did you sign it? Did you review it with your attorney?
yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I want you to be clear with me. You are not to have any contact with Ms. Doyle at all.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
means do not call her from the jail. If she contacts you, you probably need to call the police or hang up. But the court, when I mean no contact, I mean no contact.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you do not follow through on the court's conditions of probation, you could potentially be sent to prison for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that people come before me, we can go off the record, people come before me, they're in wheelchairs, they're in walker, but broken legs or whatever, the prison has a place for you, if that's where you want to be. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we do have the victim impact as well.
All right. You can do your victim impact.
I'm just gonna read it off.
Okay. Mr. Petty, they have a victim impact that they want read.
Okay.
Bobby, you told me you started drinking as a young child because you had a lousy upbringing and
All right, who are the parties on Romaldo Martinez? Hello. All right, where's Mr. Martinez? Mr. Martinez, you were late for court. Why? When people come to me with the bus stories, I tell them all the time, I used to catch the bus. And you know what I would do? I would end up at the courthouse at like 7:30 a.m. because I didn't want to be late. So when you're taking the bus, you need to pad that. You understand? All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2493, State of Texas versus Romaldo Martinez. That party is announced for the record for the state.
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense.
Andres Campion.
Are you Mr. Martinez? Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Romaldo Martinez who's placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 2493 for the offense of criminal mischief, $2,500 to $30,000 on February 28, 2022 for a term of 4 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 2 on or about the 3rd day of January 2023 in Vera County, Texas. The defendant, Romaldo Martinez, the then and there failed to submit to drug testing as directed by the supervision officer in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We'll waive the remaining violated conditions, Your Honor.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objections.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. It is to continue the individual and to alter and amend to follow the TAP evaluation, which is intensive outpatient, sober support, and monthly UAs.
All right. And probation?
Your Honor, that is probation's recommendation.
All right, so here's my question. Why should I follow this agreement? And before I'm answered, he was placed on probation on March 1st, 2022. And then the motion was withdrawn August 4th, 2022. So I want to know, why can't he do what the court is asking of him?
Your Honor, I believe the first MTR was due to an arrest for another charge. The case was dismissed without any further anything else. And so that's no agreements or anything like that. And that's what ended up withdrawing. But I believe the court sanctioned Mr. Martinez just as a to try and let him know, you can't be picking up new offenses. And I don't think the court made any statement about whether or not he was guilty of the new offense. The allegations revolve around drug use that was prevalent at his previous employer's establishment, working in the back of house of a restaurant. It was primarily cocaine use. And so
if he's drug tested today, what are the results going to be? Because he's going to get a drug test today before I make a ruling.
I am not sure of the status of that.
I think cases like that are gonna so, but I didn't.
I mean, you're going to do a drug test today.
Yeah.
But what are the results going to be?
Hopefully clean.
But why do you say hopefully?
Because I've been cleaning since I got out.
All right.
If the controlled substance of use is cocaine, then the half-life of that should be out of the system.
All right, so we're going to do a drug test and then I'll make a ruling.
Understand, Your Honor.
Thank you. Christopher Medina. Good morning. All right, we're here on a motion to set bond. State, are you prepared to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Before we start, does he actually have a bond already set or no?
He is not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 6641, State of Texas versus Christopher Joe Medina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense?
Ruben Pisana for the defense.
All right. And is this just on the docket today for the bond, or is it on the docket also for the motion to revoke?
Your Honor, he does have a motion to revoke that was just filed. Essentially, we're just trying to get bond so that you can be able to go back to work.
So the motion to revoke is not, we're not here for that today. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. And are you Christopher Joe Medina? All right. Any witnesses, state,
No one's.
defense?
No, this is.
All right, what bond amount are you requesting?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $35,000 bond with GPS.
Your Honor, that is what we discussed and I ran that by my client. My client did want me to, you know, he's a barber, he doesn't make a lot of money. And if there was another way that this court would be willing to consider a lower number, he would greatly appreciate it, but he understands it's a court decision.
All right, well, is anyone going to call any witnesses about what bond amount can be made?
No, Your Honor, his mother is the only person available and she could not miss work. She worked in the state. But I understand it was just plea for the court.
All right, if you wish, we can reset this and you can have the mother by Zoom. Any objections to his mom testifying by Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
My client said he's willing to take 35 in the states.
All right, so you're asking for a bond of $35,000? I'm assuming he can make a $35,000 bond since he's volunteered that?
Your Honor, the office will be posting bond for him.
All right. Who's the complainant?
Looks like you, don't believe I took the plaintiff's name. I can pull that.
What is the complainant's name?
So Bernie Martinez.
I'm sorry, what? Who is Sabrina Martinez to him? Brenda? All right, who is Brenda Martinez to you? All right. So you're not going to be allowed to have any contact with her. Do you understand? If you contact her, if you call her, if you write her a letter, if you want to send her a card because Mother's Day is coming up, that's going to be a violation of your conditions. Do you understand? And you cannot contact her through third people. Do you understand? So you can't have your mom, hey, send this card to her. Hey, mom, call her. Hey, mom, send her flowers. Hey, mom, tell her to drop the charges. You understand? If you have any contact with her through social media, through a third party, there's going to be issues. You understand? So it will be a $35,000 bond, GPS partial upon proof of employment. So partial GPS for employment. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider. Or with minors. No contact with Brenda Martinez. State, do you have a geographical location you don't want him on? What's Brenda's street? Not the address, but the name of the street. Bandera? Bandera Road. You are not to have any contact with the Bandera Road. I know Bandera is a long stretch, but you're not to be on Bandera Road. You understand? Does your mom live on Bandera Road? Just her? Just Miss Martinez? You're not to be on that road at all. You understand? And is she employed? Hmm. All right, if you do know and state if you have a place where she's employed, we'll add a no contact order with that employment as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Your Honor, I would just like to state that he is a barber. He's done this for some time now. As far as your condition of having no contact with minors, I just.
No, I mean, the no contact, it's like no employment as a home health care with minors. So if a minor comes into his barber shop and wants a haircut, he can do that. But if he's working at a daycare or anything like that, no. All right. So where are we on the motion to revoke? I see there's a new number 1. Do you have discovery on that?
We have not yet. We just, we're actually not employed on the new number 1, but we are going to be handling the NPR. And it's a very, very new case. We're trying to avoid him getting another warrant put out for him, but it seems like it's already been filed.
All right, so you are going to have to make a decision on whether or not you're taking care of the new number 1 or not. Ms. Ferguson, can I have this set for a hearing on within 15 days, please?
I'm sorry, Judge, I don't even know what the case number is or anything.
It's Christopher Medina, 2022 CR 6641.
Is it within 15 days?
Yes.
Dr. Schuster, April 4th or April 6th?
All right, April 4th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. All right, thank you. And Mr. Kuntz, let me know when you all are ready on Vera. Okay.
I'm ready. Whenever the court.
Okay, just because I don't have a motion for continuance. All right, thank you. And everyone else, the court is taking a reset at noon. And we're going to be selecting a jury. So if your case is not taken care of by noon or before, well, really before noon, what's going to end up happening is you're going to come back on a day that may be inconvenient for you. So everyone needs to move with a purpose and a plan. Thank you. Kevin Robinson. Hello. Good morning.
I guess afternoon.
Yeah. Are you going to be the defense attorney and prosecutor on this?
Yeah, you want me to be both then?
All right, so last time we were here, it was for discovery on extraneous offenses. And so the state was supposed to make an offer today. An acknowledgement of discovery was to be filed today.
Yes, Your Honor, we did tender an offer and I believe we are in agreement. We will have a discovery now filed today as well. I do believe counsel is requesting some time for the defendant to contact his family law attorney in order to determine the impact it will have on a civil case.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on Kevin Robinson, I need a 2-week reset for a plea deadline date.
April 3rd.
All right, April 3rd is your plea deadline date. What that means is after that, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements with that cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plea open to the court. You understand? All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form, then you're both excused. Thank you. Who's here on John Sanchez? All right, and John Sanchez is,
He is here, Your Honor. I don't.
he needs to come up. I don't have a motion. So did you let the clerk know? Because I don't have a motion. I don't have a motion. Okay, thank you. So I'll take it up once I get the motion.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Devin Magallanes. All right, and counsel, he's in the middle. All right, what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, I had agreement with the prosecutor and that was demanded that that bond be missed before hearing.
Mhm.
We now have communicated with one another, he's checking with his bondsman, he didn't tell him. The hearing, the bond, the hearing had gotten set really quick. From the time he got indicted to the first hearing, I received notice like 5 days before. So we're asking that the court set a bond. And the bond before had $10,000. Stated to agree to set it at 15 on each one of the cases. Hey, and the correct email address, you can touch with your bondsman, and you have phone number, I've got his phone number, I got the other's phone number. This was a fluke. This is never gonna happen again.
All right, so with regards to the bond, is his bondsman going to get back on his bond? All right, so state, what are you requesting for bonds on the cause number ending in 0884?
15,000, Your Honor.
And on 883?
Also 15,000. Your Honor.
All right, are there any conditions with regards to that?
No, Your Honor. Well, just a no contact with the victim.
All right, so Mr. Magallanes, I require that people show up to court. And I'm going to give you a setting before you leave here today so that you will definitely know when your next court date is, okay? All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Devin Magallanes, I'm going to need a reset date for 30 days.
Daughter, I need one other favor. You need to get travel at Scotia.
For what purpose?
He has a court hearing down there.
State,
Judge, I don't think I'd be opposed to him actually attending his court date.
yeah, he's allowed to travel for court.
Thank you.
What date, Ms. Ferguson?
April 18th.
All right, so you'll be back on April 18th, and Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
He needs to sign this.
Okay, all right, thank you. It's like, that's not on you. All right, just. All right, everyone, give me 2 minutes, please. On Sanchez, just give me a moment because I need to formulate an order for you.
I did have one issue that I think like there's definitely need to be a record. I just want to address our motion. I don't think we can ask for what we asked for. The laws changed. We asked for.
Yeah, okay,
So I just want to be, I think we have to go through, I think we have to do another round.
yeah, Okay, but just give me a moment, okay? Sure.
Thank you.
Uriah Huffman, okay. All right, so the state was to, where's Huffman? Come down, please.
I'm the problem is.
You're the problem?
I'm the problem. So. In getting ready for this case, I've learned this one video to correct it.
Just 1 second. Everyone, please whisper.
And two, and this one is a big error, because I didn't follow up with it. In December, I requested 2 videos of 2 things of the e-discovery system, and I never followed that. And I double checked, make sure I just didn't forget. It appears they were never. So Jason and I have been talking about it. I'm gonna have to bring them on like a hard drive. It's gonna be the whole thing.
Okay, when is this going to be done?
I will get done this week. I'll get it done tomorrow.
Okay, because we're supposed to be here today for the state to tender an offer, and I'm assuming that can't be done until you receive or been able to
I
download
can make
it.
an offer, Judge, but I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day.
You can make it. All right.
So the fourth day, do my camera, we can do just a short turnaround and kind of redo this setting. And then that we're going over on. And then
All right, Ms. Ferguson. What is a day that can you call this when criminal trial division is not in trial? So that'll give criminal trial division more time.
It would be the week of,
All right. So is that enough time for everybody?
it should be good. Like I said, I'll get the facing of my external today or tomorrow.
All right, so then what we'll do is we'll bring you back on April 10th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thanks. And Carl Alexander hasn't left, has he?
he's in the back.
Okay, because he still has another person
Yes.
on the docket. All right, have you all talked? And does he have a motion for continuance file? And yeah, ask him if he has. Yes.
No, good, I was on the phone with Steve.
All right.
So I can get a motion. For that case.
All right.
Hey, what we were right, actually, they did say that they could do it sooner than I think April.
Am I actually gonna get called?
They said it's actually, I think maybe a 1 or 2 day turnaround. After they tried to have the inmate here 2 days in advance of the court session. Obviously, they can't do that this time.
So when would they be able to get him here this week?
I mean, it could be this, it sounds like it's, after they get it, it's 1 or 2 days.
So did they receive it?
That's why.
No, she didn't have a record that they received the benchmark. I don't know, I had found the motion, but I don't know if the court's ruled on that.
No, I've signed it.
You just.
All right. So they've sent it. So if you, this is me trying to help things move along. If you could call them and Caroline, do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
All right, because they will let you fax to them and you fax it through their library to the wardens. If you could call them and ask them, hey, here it is. The judge would like to have this case heard this week. Will they be able to get that person here this week?
Well, so ultimately, Judge, we still need at least one other witness. We'd like to have a couple other witnesses, but even if we had him back, we would still have to announce that already because we need to track down at least one of the other witnesses.
And where are these witnesses and how long has the attempt been to track them down?
We've been making attempts over the past week and a half, I think, roughly, Judge. We've had our investigator go to different municipalities, down to Proceed, down to Leon Valley. There's, again, several lay witnesses involved. And so he's been trying to track them through social media, through known contacts, girlfriends, mothers. So far, just turning up dead ends.
Okay, so the issue here, and I don't know, State, are you going to be in agreement with their motion for continuance? I'm sorry, defense.
No, of course.
All right, so the issue the court has is that this case has been on the court's docket since 2019. So that's where we are. So if you file the motion of continuance, the court will hear it, but you may want to call TDCJ and say, hey, when can this person be here this week?
They can't even proceed without a person, what's the issue? They're not ready.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, I need a motion for continuance. I can't hear anything without a motion for continuance, but otherwise, everybody needs to be back here at 1:30. So on this case, we're gonna come back at 1:30.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right, thank you. Yes. 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 And I am waiting. And these are coming back at 1:30. All right, who are the parties on Lindsay Pierce? Yes. So where are we on the discovery?
That's been turned over to the state. They asked to speak for themselves, but they asked time to do that. They have to call the detective and confirm the existence or non-existence of those items.
All right, who's, yes, what's happening with this case?
So I just received this letter minutes ago, Your Honor. I'm sure they can easily be resolved with a phone call to the detective. I suspect that 2 of the items he's requesting don't exist, but I can confirm that. And the other one, the 911 call, if there is one, it should be recorded. That should be something we can easily.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset on peers.
I can do, April 6th.
All right, we will be back on April 6th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Here's the excuse.
After she signs a discovery.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yes, till 1:30. Yes. I didn't think they were called up. Oh, no, no problem. No, that's fine. But we'll send them back. We'll send them, tell them to come back at 1:30. Yes, 1:30. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, Caroline. No. No, just 1 second. And I'm sorry, what date did we give Pierce? All right. And I'm just waiting for Barbara Paulison. You know, I can't see without my glasses from a distance. Ah, okay, we need to do it. Okay, here you go. Thank you. All right, could I see the parties on Romaldo Martinez? All right, we're back on the record and 2021 CR 2493, State of Texas versus Romaldo Martinez. All right, Mr. Martinez, his results were negative. Okay. So, Mr. Martinez, here's what you need to realize. You're on probation. You got to follow through. And even though the state only proceeded on violation of condition number 2, and I don't take any of the other violations as true because the state hasn't proceeded on them, but I have some things that you haven't been doing. So if you want to be successful on this probation, you're going to have to communicate and you're going to have to do what's being asked of you. People are asking you to do things, so hopefully you can rehabilitate yourself. Hopefully you can stop using drugs. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is another motion to revoke may be filed. You'll be at the Bexar County Jail. If you make bond, we'll hear your case and you're looking at 2 years in the state jail facility. So if you want to continue on this wheel of using, not using, then using again, I'm in jail, I'm out of jail, I'm in prison, I'm out of prison, that will be you wasting away years of your life. Do you understand? So what are you doing to maintain your sobriety? What are you doing to maintain your sobriety?
I'm just stay busy at work and stay clean.
All right, are you living by yourself?
I'm staying with my brother.
Okay,
Just want to stay in the people supple line.
yes.
I have had multiple conversations with Mr. Martinez and more towards the side of counselor than that law to let him know really what the ramifications are if he fails to do what he's requesting of the court. And not just in the sense of the court, but in a long-term sense. I have seen what prolonged drug use does to individuals throughout the course of my career. And I've done what I could to impart that knowledge to Mr. Martinez. I have really, I believe, driven home to him that he is going to only benefit from these programs like sober support and IOP if he really wants to, because treatment doesn't work unless you open yourself up.
Okay, all right, Mr. Martinez. This is what the court is going to do. Court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Sober support meetings, I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days, random UAs, and I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month. And make sure that the random UAs include alcohol as well. Do you smoke cigarettes? Don't start, because usually when people are clean and sober, sometimes they'll pick up another habit, and usually that's tobacco products. Okay, all right, good luck to you.
I just have one ask, Your Honor, if
Mhm.
the field visits would be able to serve as his reporting.
If probation,
90 days.
if probation agrees to do it that way, then they're more than welcome to do it that way.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Randy Lopez Benicius? All right, if he'll come down.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Lozano?
All right. And we are not on the record. So on this case, what is the status with the immigration attorney?
Ms. May came in, Your Honor. I believe she addressed the court on this. She addressed me this morning, but she has not spoken with Mr. Lopez. And she still needs to do that. We're trying to actually firm up exactly what the charges are going to be. I spoke with the state this morning and they're still considering that, Your Honor.
So Judge, I think the last setting, we have been looking at reindicting the cases for all these co-defendants as engaging in organized criminal activity.
Mhm.
Since that's happened, but we haven't reindicted the cases yet because we received notice from an AUSA that they were looking to take the cases federally, which would almost certainly dispose of them on our end. We tried to reach out this morning to figure out if the AUSA has done that yet. She said that she was going to do it before today's setting. And as far as I know, we haven't gotten through to her. I'm not sure. She may not be at her desk this morning. So at this point, we're still on the fence. Either the cases are going federal or we're going to reindict them. We're just not sure at this point yet which one is going to happen.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. If you can recall this case for April 18th, so decisions need to be made by then.
Yes, sir.
And when is he in custody?
Yeah.
All right, and make sure that he's brought over dressed. All right, thank you. All right, everyone, just give me 5 minutes. Jason Todd, if I can see you, please.
Yes, Judge.
Yes. Yes.
This one for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and while you're up here. Mr. Todd.
Yes.
So I reviewed these. They're right, these are done. And could I see the file on Gabriel Hinojosa? Yes. Yes. Okay, all right, I'll take that up next. Yes, please. And if you could just write dismissed. Thank you. All right, Gabriel Hinojosa. Who's the attorney on Gabriel Hinojosa? Yeah, thank you. All right, who's here on Caitlin Martinez?
Judge, I don't know if you remember this Martinez, we've been here several times on sentencing. It did not show up today. I was absolutely all day.
Okay.
My office has called several times. From our and now she's call my office yesterday. So.
All right.
I'm hoping that I can get a hold of her.
Yes, if you want, because she's coming from Uvalde and I know there's rain, I will give her till 1:30. All right, so, but everybody needs to be here exactly at 1:30 because we're starting a jury trial. All right, you're welcome. That's 1:30. All right, Martin Rios.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. And the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, is that family violence as well?
No, Judge, that's not.
Okay, so what's happening with that case?
Judge, I conferred with both sets of prosecutors. We're ready to try.
Okay. State. Mr. Martin Rios is going to come back at 1:30.
Okay.
All right, we'll see him back at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. See you.
Joshua Clark. Court is calling 2019 CR 0925W State of Texas versus Joshua Clark. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense? Are you Joshua Clark? Showing you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review it with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Joshua Clark who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 0925W for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on February 22nd, 2019 for a period of 8 years? Is that you? State?
Your Honor, when we previously approached on this, we were proceeding on a violation of count 2 that on or about the 19th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Joshua Clark, did then and there test positive for marijuana in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Thank you, Your Honor. He's already, our last set he played through, and the number 2 that he played to was actually failing to submit.
I apologize, Your Honor, I was reading the wrong violation.
And he's already played through his appeal form's already been. We just came back to the court to take a look at it and decide.
All right, and so what does he have?
He has the new offense he put for the evading arrest when they came to get him. Of course, that's one of the allegations that's been waived and abandoned.
So why are we here?
Because I don't know if the wants to look the note. It should be argued in my own years. No objections.
No objections.
Thank you. So defense, do you have any witnesses you want to call?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Yes, thank you.
Just so I hear you.
Okay, all right, I'll hear argument. State.
Your Honor, the underlying case that the defendant was charged for was for ag assault with a deadly weapon. The defendant has since failed to report multiple times to his supervision officer, failed to submit to drug testing, and further was picked up on a new charge, although the state has waived that allegation. Since January 21st of 2022, the defendant has failed to submit 6 times and it tested positive and tested for the eluted sample. The defendant has been given a chance to comply with the conditions that he agreed to when he was first granted to the deferred adjudication. And along with these allegations, the defendant has chosen to stray from following those conditions and has shown that he is not suitable for deferred adjudication. So we're asking you to revoke the defendant's deferred adjudication sentence of the 4 years.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, there's been some adjustment with Mr. Clark, of course, when he was out, he was working. He also had gotten himself in the field. He had personal training in an effort to mitigate his track as he was trying to get his community service hours. When he told him that was something for him to do, it was making it good for him. In terms of without getting into the specific facts of the evading, because again, it has been waived. There was some question as to whether the first car that hit the scene wasn't unwanted. I think that's just the best way to say it. The neighborhood that he lives in, not the best of neighborhoods, but he had been following the court's instructions in terms of staying away.
Just one second. All right, everybody in the box, you need to whisper. I'm being patient. I have patience in my pocket, but I have an issue understanding why is it that there is no chatter when we're off the record, but the minute we go on the record, then everybody moves with the purpose to start chattering and approaching the court coordinator. So if we cannot whisper, then we cannot talk in the box. You may continue.
In terms of the job that he had, one of the issues with the testing was the court knows that it's random testing, so there'd be times when he'd have to leave his job to go down there. It's been explained to him, and he fully understands how moving forward, that's just not gonna work, that the fact that he's at work, and he feels like he can't leave. He wants to keep a job, where he might still more getting one. But it's been explained to him, and he understands now that if he has to go test, he has to go test, and he may have to just find a different job that's going to be more compatible with those applications of the rotation. In terms of testing first has been for a while, he would be able to test, but he would be able to pass a drug test today. He's in school, he is working, he's putting forth what I believe is the best effort that he knows to put forward, but he knows to do a better job. And so we would ask the court to consider continuing him on his deferred adjudication, or in the alternative, if the court is inclined to convict him, to continue him on probation with the conviction.
All right, so Mr. Clark, here's the issue. The issue is the court has given you chance after chance after chance. You're placed on deferred adjudication February 22nd, 2019. Then on August 5th, a motion to revoke was filed and you were continued. I allowed you to transfer to Mississippi. Then on February 8, 2021, there was a new motion to revoke, which was a new case that you committed because you pled true to it. The court denied it and continued you. Then we come back on May 5th, 2021. There's another motion to revoke, and that's a violation of number 26. The court continued you. And now we are here. So I don't believe there's anything else that I can do to make you follow the court's condition. I'm going to grant the motion, find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Brianna, Briyanna Reed. I don't think there wasn't an affirmative finding of family violence on this. Let me see if yeah. All right, and the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. And you receive any credit for any time served, $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that right is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand? If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, we can go off the record. How old are you? 31. All right, so you're going to have to change your life. I know sometimes people are sentenced to prison and they think it's the end of the world. And I've never been sentenced to prison, so I can't say, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. I always never thought it was easy. But what I can tell you is you need to take advantage and try to rehabilitate yourself so you won't be back in this situation, because time is going to pass, whether you're living right or living wrong. And you want to make sure that you're living right so you'll have a chance in life. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. Jose Diaz. All right. Ms. Diaz, come down. All right, what's happening with this case?
I'll be filing a motion.
All right, and when will that be done?
Second.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, the defense is going to file a motion for competency on Mr. Diaz.
Okay.
Can you give me a 30-day reset?
Next man, into April 18th.
All right, we'll come back on April 18th. All right, I see attorneys sitting here, but I don't see any movement. We are breaking at noon. If you're on the trial docket and you're ready for trial, then you need to have your file pulled so you can approach and let the court know that you're ready for trial. Otherwise, you're going to end up being recalled back for a different day, and it's probably going to be inconvenient to you.
No talking in the box. Yes. Sure. I think it's sort of like a movie. When I come back and every day is a Monday.
No. I mean, we need to do that now. We have a jury coming back at 1:30.
It's not gonna know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So now that we approach it, I can make sure when we do approach it.
Just, I mean,
Alexander Castro, good morning. Where's your client?
Yes.
Okay. You learned how to cover the arm. So how's that going?
It's better. They took the cast off because
Oh,
I wore this for 6 days.
Mhm.
Because they still don't know why the bone moved.
Mhm.
Because it's down backwards, basically what it's supposed to be,
Mhm.
but it's loose.
oh, it's floating around. That's not good.
Yeah. So in an effort for me not to make it worse, they want me to do this, although I think last night, I got off to sleep.
Ah, really? All right, so we're here for discovery. Where are we?
I believe we have discovery complete, is my understanding.
Yeah, do you have a note, Judge, about what discovery we were waiting for?
No, it was just for discovery because your first setting was on February 3rd. So it's just brought back in 30 days to make sure that you all have all the discovery.
Okay, Mr. Hillier in our office is handling it. He had to go starting a trial, but he didn't tell me that we were lacking. So I believe he would have told me. I think we're okay on that aspect of it.
All right, so has-
When it's time to run. Discovery has a potential crash expert, which he has an appointment with. I can tell you when, but it is not, the expert is not.
So when is that going to happen?
I'm sorry. I would hope in the next couple weeks, but I don't really know.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this for 30 days. And state at the next setting, you need to be prepared to make an offer. Then your plea deadline date is going to occur. You understand? All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Castro? All right, April 18th.
I believe we got one yesterday for can we put it on the same day?
What's on the 24th?
You said it's a case yesterday, I believe on the 21st, let me check.
It is on the 24th.
Can we put the vote on the same day?
Sure.
Thank you. You're right on the
Okay.
Devontae Pollard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You see, I got your way earlier today.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't want to be here till 4:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what's happening on this case? Today is the plea deadline date.
We have a plea offer. And my client just needs to talk to his family about it. And we come back next week for the plea.
All right, how old are you? I'm sorry? All right, so I'm going to tell you what I tell all the people who come in this court, because this is an adult court. Your parents would love for you to come to them before there's an issue, instead of now there's a fire and you go to your parents for advice. So I always tell people, when you're going to a party as a child, you know what? Your parents will want to know, hey, mom, dad, I want your advice. Should I go to this party? Will you allow me to go to this party? There's not going to be any adult supervision. There's probably going to be drugs and alcohol there, as opposed to, mom, dad, can I go to this party? Oh yeah, sure. Then you get to the party, there's drugs, alcohol, people get arrested. Then you're at the jail, and then you want to call your parent. So you're 28. So what I'm going to do is, because today was your plea deadline date. And let me
Just
see.
so you know, I was just hired February 24th, so
Okay.
I haven't been on this case, but barely a month.
Okay. All right. I am recalling you back. Ms. Ferguson, I want this brought back on the 27th.
Yes, sir.
So whomever you need to talk to, you need to have done it by then. You understand? All right. So that will be your last plea deadline date. The court will not extend it any further.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. So maybe.
Okay.
Caleb Coleman. Yes. Hello. So is this a family violence case or criminal trial division? Okay. So we've been back here several times. So I believe we're scheduled for trial. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you?
Yes, we're ready, Judge, but we do have a couple of issues. We had requested and found a motion on discovery issues. One was deduction of medical records, which were not produced. The medical records that they produced the other day was like 685 days after the incident. And so based on that, we would like any information, and they were given like 6 months and several different court settings to bring forth that information. So we're requesting under our motion that they not be allowed to present any evidence which they have not previously presented related to any injury. And I don't know the information they gave us, I don't know if it's exculpatory or what, because bottom line is that the information they provided was several days after the alleged incident. So it showed that she did not do medical treatment, as she had told a police officer at or near the time of the incident.
All right. So we'll be back at 1:30 for trial.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And at that time, don't we have our motion carried as well?
Yes. Clark Warren. And probation, this is no application. Court is calling 2023 CR 1353, State of Texas versus Clark Jackson Warren. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Guerra, Your Honor.
Defense? Are you Mr. Warren?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Warren, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We are.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor, pursuant to 1244.
All right.
Pursuant to 1244.
All right, and Mr. Warren, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Does.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Warren, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 108 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
And did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. All right, Mr. Warren, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right? Go around. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing? All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 108 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. All right, showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. Excuse me. Everyone, listen up. Number one, I give this announcement every time and then people forget about the announcement that I've made. The court reporter has to take down everything that everyone is saying. If you are in the box, do not talk to your client while we're on the record. How do you know we're on the record? Because I call the style of the case. I keep saying that. And what I keep saying is, I don't understand when we're not on the record, everybody just sits there and don't talk to anybody. And the minute we get on the record, that's when everybody wants to have a conversation. I have patience in my pocket, but slowly but surely that patience is going to wear out. Everyone who's on the trial docket, if you are on the trial docket, you need to have the court coordinator or the clerk pull your file so I can let you know when you can be back here for trial, because we're not going to do this thing where everybody is rushing up here at 12 o'clock when we're actually taking our lunch at 12, because the prosecutors need a break at 12. The staff needs a break at 12. The court reporter who's been taking down everything that everyone's been saying needs their break. The probation officer needs their break. And do not approach the coordinator or the clerk when we're on the record. Again, how do you know we're on the record? Because I call the style of the case. Now, I hope everybody understands. And now that I've said this, you know what's going to end up happening? I'm not going to hear any chatter, and we're not even on the record. The end.
I have John Dominguez and Brandon Wright. Brandon is present with us via Zoom. Dominguez, just because I don't want to get in trouble at noon and be late. I heard the speech.
Did you hear it?
I heard it. So everybody stop talking around.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I did, I don't know.
Oh, see, yeah, he used to do that. And see, I'm like, yeah, no. Who's here? I'm Brandon Wright.
I am. It's Brandon Wright. And we've got things worked out. I'm here on Brandon Wright.
All right.
He's the vice president on Zoom. He's present on the.
So you said we're gonna break it, what time do you want them to come out? If the paperwork's not ready.
Oh, they can come back at 1:30, but I'll take them up when we have a break. All right. Brandon Wright. Last time we were here, it was for an extraction on a laptop.
Yes,
On an at-large case.
correct.
So
I don't know if she's new to the case.
I don't know if I do. If I can have just come back to consult.
sure. All right. John Dominguez. All right, where's John Dominguez?
He's in custody, they'll bring him up, but we can go for a while we're waiting.
Okay.
We can chat.
All right. Well, if you guys chat on both of that, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna put you back in the breakout room. Well, in a waiting room.
You're gonna say he was here on there.
No, I'm not there yet. Dominique Brinkley. Where's the attorney for Dominique Brinkley? Who is the attorney on Dominic Brinkley? Where is he?
No, he was here most of this morning.
Oh, for this case? For another,
Another one.
that's in here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brinkley, have a seat. Rafael Guerra. Hello, good morning. So in this case, have you received an offer?
We are in the process of conferring on that. We shared some video that the state needs to look at, Judge. So they're requesting some additional time to do that. So that they can offer, or either make an offer or possibly dismiss it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Mr. Guerra. All right, we'll be back on April 18th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, just get a reset form for Ms. Ferguson. Ralph Pettis.
President.
Good morning. All right, have you received an offer?
I'm not, Judge, and we are executing the CPI, order right now, the CPS.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Pettis. All right, that'll be for discovery. After that, on that date, I'm going to expect the state to be prepared to make an offer.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form. Rafael Guerra. Oh, I already did that one. Sorry. Jasmine Hardaway.
She's in the hallway, Your Honor. I'll be right back.
Yes. Is this criminal trial division, Jasmine Hardaway? All right, see you all back at 1:30 for jury trial.
Judge.
Yes.
Something I need to take up with the court. It's a rather odd situation.
No chewing gum before the bench.
Yes,
Your Honor, I have in my file marked copies of number of defense motions.
Mhm.
And I checked the state's file and they have them. They're not in the court's file.
Okay.
I don't know.
that might be into the court.
Oh, if you have motions to hear, I'll hear them. Everybody come back at
They're
one.
not motions, they're requests for notice.
Okay, okay.
So as we stand right now, we don't have notice of the state secretary.
State?
Your Honor, we did file a notice of expert witness this already about 2 weeks ago, Your Honor. I'm not sure. Served them through the e-filing service.
Hasn't made it into the courts.
All right, see y'all back at 1:30. Thank you. All right, we have the interpreter here. Thank you. Eric Gonzalez Lopez. All right, where are we on the immigration issue?
Judge, the issue in our case is that the state is telling me that the case may go federal and they may be not prosecuting in state court. They thought they'd have a decision by today. They didn't get one. And if they don't decide to go into federal court, the state's telling me they're going to be in that distance.
Okay.
That's
Let me see what date we gave the other person. All right, you'll be back on April 18th. Be dressed for trial. All right, see y'all back on April 18th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Maybe it's good, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you so much. Joey Herrera? No, behind the line. Yes, what's happening with this case?
Yeah, I'll just ask for a reset on this. I think we've got a big right an offer that will take, but he just wants to see his family about it.
How old are you? You're 35. All right, so before you have a case, you probably need to talk to your family before then. I'm going to recall this for next week. Ms. Ferguson, can you amend date next week for Mr. Herrera for a plea deadline date, please? All right, we'll be back on March 27th, and you need to let me know at that time whether or not you're accepting the offer, okay? All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize. I think that you called one of my cases while I was outside going over paperwork with my other client, Brinkley.
Yes, Dominic Brinkley.
That's right.
All right, did you receive an offer?
No, Your Honor, the state, I believe, is still trying to contact the complaining witness on the aggravated robbery case.
Judge, we ran a check for known phone numbers. We've left voicemail messages. Some of the numbers were disconnected, but so far we haven't heard back from our victim on the aggravated robbery case. Obviously, that would control over the unauthorized use cases, although we have had contacts with the victims for those cases, the unauthorized use charges. And then we also are still working on the discovery. There was a request last time for one of the unauthorized use cases. The victim had a video of the theft occurring. So we're still trying to get that. I've reached out to the detective for the case. If that's not panning out, then we'll have to see if the victim still has it, her own original.
All right, so this will be the last reset for discovery and for the state to contact the complainant. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Brinkley, please? All right, April 17th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Your Honor, there was one other issue with this case to address. We have a motion that's unopposed by the state
Mr. Brinkley is currently on partial house arrest. We are asking for the court to allow him to go beside work, to go to doctor's appointments for his pregnant girlfriend. Sorry, is it girlfriend or wife? Girlfriend. So that he may attend those appointments as she is about to give birth here in the next.
Does she want him there? Sometimes there's more confusion when the guy shows up, like they don't be a source of comfort.
It's my understanding that she wants him there. Your Honor.
Okay.
She definitely wants to be there, be supportive.
All right. You're not planning on fainting or passing out? Okay. Any objections? State, any objections?
No, Your Honor, as long as he's not going near the victim or the victim's address, which I believe should already be a condition.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Here's the reset.
May I approach?
Just one moment. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Varela, she's not on the docket, but I have to read reduction of the bond to $50,000.
All right, I'll take that up at a break.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
Since I've already filed my motion, I thought maybe you want to see it. That's my own copy of it. No, Judge, you can have that.
All right, y'all want to make that order? I'll take it. Never mind. You're welcome. Who's here on Arturo Aguilar? All right, if y'all can come forward. Oh, I'm doing great. Court is calling 2021 CR 8520 State of Texas versus Arturo Aguilar Jr. We're on the record in the box. Could our parties announce for the record for the state?
Herrera for the state.
Defense?
Lauren Lupton for Mr. Aguilar.
Are you Mr. Aguilar? Showing what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision and First Amendment motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Arturo Manuel Aguilar Jr. who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 8520 for the offense of violation of sex offender registration 10 years on June 13, 2022 for a term of 4 years? Is that you? State?
Proceeding on violation of condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Arturo Manuel Aguilar Jr. did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of November and December 2022 and January 2023.
In violation of condition number 4?
Condition number 4.
All right. How do you plead to that? True or not true?
That's true.
All right, state.
You're waiving all other alleged violations.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 2 years at the state jail facility and $1,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. The agreement is to revoke the defendant's probation sentence of 1 year. Department of Corrections.
I'm sorry?
1 year and TDC.
State jail.
Or state jail, I'm sorry, it's a state jail offense.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreements, revoke, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served.
We would just also ask that the presumptive 80/20 credit be applied as well, since it's a state jail.
Yeah. Well, if you show me that you're doing work, the court will always consider it. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. Katrina Mendoza. All right, what's happening with this case? We were here for a cell phone and his passport protected. So we're here for discovery. Where are we on that?
I think Brittany just needs to step in. He's just right there.
And Norma, the cases the files that I have in my possession, these are the last ones that we're doing, and we're taking our lunch break. Your file is in my possession.
All three of them?
Yes. All right, so defense, where are we on this?
Judge, we still don't have our discovery. What they're doing is they're working on the co-defendant's cell phone.
Okay.
So we're still working on that. We just asked for one time.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give me 30 days on Ms. Mendoza for discovery? All right, April 18th. I'm sorry, Norma, can you put this on the 17th instead of the 18th? It's going to be April 17th.
It's for discovery right now.
Yeah. Yes. Who's here on Stephen Matthews?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Court is calling 2022 CR 0432, State of Texas versus Stephen Edward Matthews. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
On behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Deputy David Friesen on for the defense.
All right. And are you Mr. Matthews?
Sorry.
We're on the record. Whenever I call the style of the case, that means we're on the record. The court reporter cannot hear if you're sitting directly behind her talking. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you reviewed all the discovery with your client, and have you received all the discovery? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on that indictment as presented?
We are,
All right, Mr. Matthews, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you're charged with fraudulent use or possession of identifying information less than 5 items as a state jail felony? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, sir.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
According to the plea, there's a $200 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication and there's a MIC evaluation. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, sir.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No such motion.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years and there'd be 150 hours community service restitution. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
State, any evidence?
At this time, the state introduces state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, state, you may continue to negotiate.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we waive PSI.
All right, is there any restitution that's owed?
We have not been presented with a restitution amount. I have made him aware that if a restitution figure is provided to the probation department, that can be added as a condition of the deferred adjudication.
All right, $200 fine probated. Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work in concrete.
All right, make evaluation, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. 150 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children? 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Restitution, if any, to Irene Brummett, Brummitt, plus no contact with Irene Brummett and the theft course. And we will do regular UAs and field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation, if there's no issue, you can discontinue field visits. All right, probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining, go around. Why do people keep trying to come through that? Thank you. Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no.
May I? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Brandon Wright?
Present.
Yes. Yes.
Hello again.
Hello. Let me bring him out of the waiting room. All right, where are we on Mr. Wright with the laptop extraction?
Your Honor, unfortunately, it's another situation where they have not gotten into the laptops yet. I'm discussing with Mr. Vaughn as to, you know, what the next step should be as far as the laptop. He would like another setting to try to get in.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys the final setting for this laptop extraction. And if you all don't have it, then on this date that I'm giving you, people who are doing the extraction need to be subpoenaed and give the court a date for certain when it's gonna be done.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a 40-day reset on Mr. Wright.
We do the next week by chance. I'm out of town that week.
All right, put it at the next week, Ms. Ferguson.
Perfect.
All right, May 1st.
Thank you.
So you all need to subpoena whomever you need to subpoena. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Wright, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And who's your other person?
I have
Mary Diaz?
Mary Diaz, and I have John Dominguez.
All right, John Dominguez.
Present here.
All right, where are we on this case?
We are currently uploading the CPR records from Mr. Vaughn.
Okay.
So they should be in his possession.
All right. So Norma, let's put this the same date as the previous case.
May 1st.
Yes. And so by that time, all discovery issues should be taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
And state, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Understood.
All right, thank you. Mary Diaz. All right, thank you. All right, Mary Diaz, what's happening with that?
These are your trial docket for next Tuesday. Issues. There are about 30 to 40 DVDs. And like half of them aren't opening anymore.
All right, so when is she on the docket?
Tuesday, the 28th.
All right, let's address that on the 28th.
Okay, okay.
All right.
I just want to know, we won't be ready to file the 28th because of that.
Let's address it on the 28th.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Where's the MTR? Alejandro Garcia. Court is calling 2022 CR 4999, State of Texas versus Alejandro Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Suzanne
Defense.
Kramer for Mr. Garcia.
Are you Mr. Garcia? Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Alejandra Garcia who's placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 4999 for the offense of assault, family second offense on September 26, 2022 for a term of 7 years? Is that you?
Correct.
State, is that you? State?
Your Honor, state's proceeding on violation of condition number 25, and that honor about the third day of October 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Alejandro Garcia did then and there directly contact the victim without the courts and or the supervision officer authorization in violation of condition number 25.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 25, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 7 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 25? All right, is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. The agreement would be to deny the motion to revoke, and the state would seek to amend conditions of defendant's probation to include Bexar County ISF 2.
All right. Well, why would I not? And by the way, I'm finding violation of condition number 525 true based upon your plea of true. Why shouldn't I revoke him? Because you violated my order by having contact. Well, I don't know if your attorney wants you to speak to me.
May we have a second, Judge?
Sure.
Okay.
You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record. Why are you not following the court's orders?
I had called the SMTV, I go pick up my wallet and my ID, Texas ID, so I can go get my job. And from there, they arrested me, brought me to the South Tower booking, and when I spoke to the judge, let them know what it was. So that was going on, they rejected my case and let me go. That's why.
Well, she's asking you why, and I thought that's what you just explained to me. Why did you have to contact her at all?
Well, I apologize.
Yeah, so I told you not to have contact with her and you did. So my question is, why are you having contact with her?
Not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure? I told you you're not supposed to have contact with her and you did.
I apologize, sir.
Well, no, I mean, it's like you're not following through on your conditions of probation. So the question is, why shouldn't I just send you to prison? Because obviously you can't follow instructions.
Safety in my life and continue with Bible college.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to prison. Even people who are charged with murder, they're like, look, I would love if I can get on with my life. Can you just let me go? I promise I won't do this anymore. You were given probation, and one of your conditions was you were not to contact the complainant, and you are. So obviously you can't follow the conditions that the court has given to you. So the fact that you want to be a barber or you have other dreams that don't include you going to prison, that's not my question. My question is, why didn't you follow the court's rules? Or to make it easier, why shouldn't I send you to prison when you didn't follow my rules?
I apologize.
No, I mean, why are you not following my rules? I tell you, you cannot contact this person and you don't follow my rules and you contact the person. So why shouldn't I send you to prison?
So I get the opportunity to get in my life, continue being good.
No, I gave you the opportunity. She doesn't want to speak to you anymore. She doesn't love you anymore. Or maybe she does still love you, but you're being violent towards her. So that's why we're here and you can't have contact with her. I don't understand what you don't understand about that.
I understand. I apologize. You understand.
Probation?
Your Honor.
Why shouldn't he go to prison?
Was cognitive thinking one of his conditions ever? Because I have had some issues. Certainly he's competent, but some issues with the retaining of information that I give him.
I mean, he knows he's not supposed to have, I mean, he can't retain information that he's not supposed to have contact with somebody?
Your Honor, so Mr. Garcia reported to initial intake and since then has not reported.
Okay. I'm not continuing him on probation.
And Judge, I did talk to Mr. Garcia about that being a possibility. And so I told him then that should we decide that you want to revoke him, if you would consider reforming the underlying sentence below a term of 7 years.
All right. The court is going to grant the motion. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Maria Garcia. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. And I'll sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right. You do have a limited right to appeal, and that appeal as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you're on probation. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Follow rules, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
I'm anywhere.
It's not in the file? I'll pass it here. Let me see. This is our last one. Oh, I said it, but I didn't write it. It's a 2 years. Thank you. Okay. All right, this is the last case. Court is calling 2022 CR 8046, State of Texas versus Daniel Macias. Could our parties announce for the record for the state?
Just really quickly, we were gonna have our engine Magallanes just her temporary bar license.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, could I have parties announce for the record for the state?
Maria Lancinas for the state.
All right, and could you announce on the record as well?
Yes, Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Cole Nettles for Mr. Macias.
Are you Mr. Macias?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor, and I have gone over it with the client.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You need to move over this way. Okay. Mr. Macias, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses? The state would call them the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is, and I believe he was.
Mr. Macias, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your
Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $600 fine. State recommends community supervision, ignition interlock for half the term, 60 days house arrest with permission to work in lieu of the 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, there have not, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a top evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, and 2-year driver license suspension. Did you understand that those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
State offers exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything that you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. So as part of that plea agreement, we have in there that there's the 60 days house arrest in lieu of the 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. I guess a request to the court, and my understanding is it's going to be unopposed by the state. Mr. Macias has temporary or not temporary. He has partial custody of his son. He does see his son once a week, picks him up from school events, takes him home, also gets him every other weekend. And so we would ask that the court, in allowing both work release for that house arrest period, allow for him to still see his son, pick him up from school, and do the typical family father-son activities.
All right, if the court does that, then it's going to be increased to 60 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to that, Mr. Macias?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection to that addendum to the plea agreement state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes. Your
What do you
Honor.
do?
I'm actually self-employed. I run my own window tinting business. I have a dealership that I have responsibilities for and bounce around the city, doing appointments and stuff.
All right. All right, the court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $600 fine. State any objection to probating that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, $600 fine probated, ignition interlock, half the term, 90 days house arrest with permission to work. And fulfill your duties as a parent. So he's allowed to probation, he's allowed to be with his son, take him to the park. So he's going to be allowed to fulfill parental obligations. And that's in lieu of the 10 days Bexar County Jail. And also I'm doing that because I know there are still medical issues that happen at the jail. There's to be proof of employment within 15 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits, one time per month for 3 months. Probation, if there's an issue, of course, you can continue them. If there's no issue, you can discontinue. The field visit can be in lieu of his reporting. 100 hours of community service restitution, 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination with a booster. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you have it and you present it, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to require parenting classes. The remaining of those hours will be waived once parenting classes are complete. DWI intervention, victim impact panel, 2-year driver's license suspension. I'm going to want regular UAs. Be sure to test for alcohol. And I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days. And do supportive outpatient with probation. And I know you need a TAP evaluation for that, so a TAP evaluation. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment or intensive outpatient treatment, we're going to start with supportive outpatient.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Macias, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor, I just wanted to plead or speak, if I may.
Sure.
So since this incident had occurred, I've actually changed my life around completely. I celebrated my 11 months of sobriety.
Oh,
I
congratulations.
appreciate that, thank you. And it's really, opened my eyes to my way of life from before. And I understand these aren't completely to my liking, but I understand the consequences of my mistake. And I just wanted to just let you know that I'm continuing to move forward with my sobriety and making better choices.
All right, thank you so much. And I appreciate when people come before me and they realize and accept that they did something wrong and they are accepting the consequences for their actions. I think too many times there is actions that happen and people don't want to accept the consequences for that. So thank you very much. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. We're off the record and we're on break. And wait a second. All right, you're new, you're licensed, well, with a licensed attorney.
Yes.
All right, and what's your full name?
Magallanes.
All right, oh, you can have a seat.
Can you?
All right, so Mr. Cox,
That's E N.
we need to welcome her. She's gonna be our future attorney.
Yes. Do you need me to spell that? No, thank you.
St. Mary's?
St. Mary's.
Yeah, usually everybody here is St. Mary's. Well, okay, Cornelius, you're not St. Mary's. We don't hold that against you.
Also not St. Mary's.
Oh, and he's not St. Mary's. Okay, we need to get you another attorney. But welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This is your first plea?
Yes.
Oh, you did excellent work. All right.
And Judge, the reason why I wanted her to take the plea was that she worked very hard in this case, because she would have tried it with me if it had gone.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And so I just wanted her to have at least the ability to kind of close it.
Well, congratulations. I used to be a student attorney at St. Mary's as well. They have a great clinic program.
Yes, they do.
So when you come out after you graduate and pass the bar, which I know you will, you won't have the fear. You'll just be ready to jump in.
Yes.
And then you can always find Cornelius Cox, because Cornelius, we always say he's the hardest working attorney in San Antonio. He is, but you can always find him. And I'm sure he'll be willing to